All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk. This is the show where we cover the SWAC inside and out. I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See what else coming at you. And as you can see on the screen today, we're going to talk briefly about the news. Although this news kind of came out last week, but it's basically been confirmed from Kyle T. Mosley on Twitter at KT Mose. He stated that Texas Southern will not be renewing Coach Mckinney's contract, which expires in December. And that report has been confirmed by AD Kevin Granger. So I think it was verified at like 3:50 this afternoon. So Clarence McKinney out at the end of his contract. They decided not to renew. In a way, I can feel two minds of this situation. Obviously, you wanna win. You wanna keep pace with everybody, especially with the West Division being what it is. You want to kind of keep pace with that. But this team this season, I thought, had a good chance. They had a lot of bad breaks. Obviously, the game on Saturday really hurt. But this was a team that had quite a few close games this season against teams who finished ahead of them. They lost to Prairie View by a field goal in overtime. They lost to Florida A&M by 10. They lost to Southern by 6. They lost to Jackson State by 2. So those are the bulk of their conference losses. They also lost to Grambling by 12, which is that's like 2 touchdowns. So the only they never really got blown out in conference play. Plus the 1-point loss they took to Pine Bluff, which they really blew that game. But a few of these games they actually had leads in the fourth quarter and they let it slip out. But you're missing your starting quarterback. Yes, you had some great players. You had some injuries on defense. A lot of things conspired against him. But this was a coach who came in and took over a Texas Southern team in 2019 that finished 2-9 in 2018. Basically started over from scratch. Went 0-11 his first year there. Went 1-2 in the spring. And then he went 3-8 in 2021. Last season took a big step forward, finishing 5-6. Basically a game out of the SWAC championship, winning the West Division, just missing that out by a game. And this season they came in with a lot of hype. A lot of people feel like this was the dark horse team to win the championship. Your quarterback got injured last season and never really rounded back into form. So you played 10 of your 11 games without Andrew Body. And you had 2 FBS games back to back, which I feel like doesn't do them any favors. And I've said that multiple times. But ultimately, your job is to win games. And this is a coach that finished his career at Texas Southern 12-35, 9-26 in conference. No winning records, obviously. And this is a program that hasn't had a winning record since 2010. And they've only had in the past 20 years or 23 years, you want to go back to the 2000s, to 2000, they've only had 3 winning seasons in that time. So this, I don't know, I'm not going to sit there and act like I know what's going on at TSU. I'm not going to sit there and act like, not winning games is okay, because it's never okay. But I felt like this program was building something. This was a team who was going to be heavily experienced next year, junior, senior laden team, with the opportunity to move forward if they retain their quarterback. Otherwise, you had a kid who started 10 games who, gained some very valuable experience. But, this is something that, I can see some people saying, he need to go. I saw some people upset over the game Saturday, which that game should have never went the way that it did. A team like Pine Bluff, you just don't let them back in the game, but it happened. So I guess they're at the point now where they don't want to commit anything to the experiment that's going on right now. I guess you want to kind of just start over and bring in somebody new and see where you go from there. I feel like maybe if you made some changes within the staff and kept McKinney for a year to see where that goes, I mean, maybe that works out. But maybe you feel like it's not worth it to kind of string it along. You want to go ahead and start looking for something fresh now. Coaching carousel is swinging, it's spinning now. Like so that this should be two positions open in the West Division, um, and we'll just see where they go from here. Like I said, I don't really have any idea of where they need to look. Obviously, you if you're a coach coming into a program like this, you're gonna have to put in some work. You're gonna have to not be afraid to put in some work, and you're gonna have to be a salesman to energize and sell the fan base on football. Because TSU is a basketball school. I mean, that's no knock on them. Football, when they're winning, they can draw people, but this football program has not been one that's had a lot of sustained success in the last few years. I mean, basically since I've been alive, they haven't really done anything of note for a consistent time. This is a program that's won 43% of their games since 1946. So not a lot of sustained success. So you're gonna have to have somebody who comes in and puts in the work. They're gonna have to recruit. I mean, you're in a fertile recruiting ground. The portal is always active. So where do they go from here? I think you need to go with somebody that's gonna maintain some of the guys that you have, and maybe um, build a little bit more of an offense that's more consistently explosive, and shoring up their defense. So maybe a guy with a defensive mind, that has a good offensive coordinator, or offensive coach who brings in a good defensive coordinator. So right now, that's the question that remains. But we'll keep tabs on this situation as it develops. Obviously, out of the two jobs that are open right now, this one is probably gonna fly under the radar to a lot of people because right or wrong, a lot of people don't show TSU the attention that they deserve. This is a team who's sitting here with the potential SWAC Offensive Player of the Year on their roster, and they don't really get the attention. And I mean, going 3-8 won't help that, but we'll see. I mean, this is this program has started to kind of find some things. When you're in a lot of games in a season and you drop a few games here and there by close margin, you find yourself in a decent position. But it didn't. I guess it didn't really work out that way, and we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. Like I said, I kind of feel like maybe they should have held on to him, a year or two. But that's not my position. That's not my program. I'm not. I don't want to be the kind of person that be like, yo, you know, you should have held on to that coach when y'all know what's going on behind the scenes more than the rest of us do. So to some of us, excuse me, to some people, that this move may have been a surprise. To others, you probably saw it coming, so it's not really a shock. But it's good to get some clarity on this because last week the news came out, but the report was shot down. Now the report is confirmed, so we'll continue to monitor this situation and see where they go. Hey, if you got an idea who should be the new coach, drop it in the comments. We'll start to bat around some names on it and get our own list going. So with that being said, man, I'm your tour guide, Sewell, signing out, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.